Well. We are back, folks. This is the last word. I made my say on Wednesday on Coach's Company, and we are back. I'm so happy to come back. And boy, are we coming back at the right time. We are 47 days away from WrestleMania, and I am your host of The Last Word, Big Tommy C. Now, you know I can't drive this bus by myself, so I'm going to bring in my partner in crime, Miss Gabby. And if you don't know who she is, she's backstage with TNA. She has her own podcast, and she has put the beat down on Coach so bad that he can't even show up anymore. Good evening, Gabby.
Hello, Tommy. I'm so glad to see you. How are you this evening?
I'm very good.
Listen, someone had to put the beat down on Coach. No one needs that negativity around here, especially when we do see some good things from pro wrestling after a long weekend at Chamber and Raw tonight. We don't need any of that, man. We can handle it ourselves.
So give me your, since me and Coach had a little rap session going on Saturday, what were your thoughts of EC?
So I actually went in like I do most WWE events and think I'm not going to like anything, and then I end up kind of leaving it saying like I think I actually like that a little bit more than I thought I was going to. I didn't both my picks didn't win, but I will say I think both picks were 100% correct in the way that they went about it. Listen, I love Raquel. A lot of people wanted Raquel to win that, but it's WrestleMania and you gotta bet big, and there's no one getting the reactions like Rhea Ripley. Jade Cargill is going to be a powerhouse of these two women, this kind of match. And Rhea Ripley sells tickets. That's why she's been at the big stage before. That's why she's been champion so many times. It was the right way to go about it when it comes to the fact that it is WrestleMania. And hey, let's build off this now, momentum that we've got going for Raquel in that storyline with Liv, because now we can build from it and make it even stronger as opposed to just throwing it in to a WrestleMania match against Jade where the story wasn't even really there yet. And on the men's side, I love me some Randy Orton. My God, he is the most beautiful man alive, and I will say it until I die. But even besides that point, like Randy Orton is just one of the best to ever do it. And he is just a beast, and he is just so awesome the way he was even in the match. You know what I love about Randy right now is like you could tell he's loving what he's doing and just there to like have fun and not take it seriously. Like some of the comments he was making, the way he rolled out of some stuff, like he's kind of sarcastic with it. He's a pro, and it's WrestleMania. Throw him in there. I'm happy about it. I think it was the right way to go with the return of Seth, which I thought was done well with everything happening with Cody. And now we're going to see Cody Drew on SmackDown. And honestly, Cody Randy is the story at WrestleMania. So I hope Cody gets that title, and maybe we'll see a four-way with Jacob and Drew as well. But I kind of am, I'm into what they're setting up here.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And this leads right into Raw. And man, they had a hot start tonight. I really like the way they started the show. The Vision comes out. Paul Heyman cuts this huge promo on Seth Rollins. And before you know, we see one masked guy come out. We see another masked guy come out. We see Theory and Logan Paul leave. Of course, who comes to the top of the ropes onto the mat area? Mr. Seth Rollins. And let's face it, guys, can somebody tell me out there in the chat, or Gabby, or producer man, or Double D, tell me, when's the last time you really saw Paul Heyman take a bump? And he took a big bump and the nose started bleeding. When's the last time did we see that, Gabby?
No, I mean, incredible. I popped huge, and he sold it well, as he does everything. It's Paul Heyman, of course. And I just think it's a beautiful thing because as it happened, I was like, wow, I feel like it was just yesterday that we saw the moment in WrestleMania when Paul sided with Seth against Roman, and it was like that big, cinematic moment. And now, not even a full year later, almost, you see a beautiful turn. I think it was done so well. Some people might disagree, but whatever it may be, I do think it was supposed to be Seth and Braun heading into what they're doing. I kind of love that it's Logan. Dude, I love to hate that guy so much. That's awesome. But I thought it was a great way to go about it, like having all the random guys, because people were really commenting on that when it was happening anyway in real time. Like, that can't be Seth, or maybe it's Grayson Waller, or whatever it is. So I think it was done perfectly. Heyman is incredible. And you know who I think is going to have a big problem with this, possibly that no one's even really talked about, is Do you think Brock's going to be a little pissed off that Seth is injuring his guy? Are we going to see something about that? Because I mean,
Wow.
boy,
I didn't even think of that. I didn't even thought that. So you think there's a possibility we could see Brock going against Seth freaking Rollins
I
at
don't know.
WrestleMania? Wow.
Listen, nothing's off the table, right? I think they're
No.
going to go that way, but Brock is back, and they're saying, is it going to be Brock Oba from the things at Royal Rumble, all these kind of things, but now Paul is his boy. That is his oracle, his leader, his right hand man, and Seth just busted his face open, hit him with a chair. You don't think Brock might be sitting there having a problem with that? I don't know, man. I don't say nothing is possible. It could be interesting.
Hey, let's face it, this WrestleMania, out of all the WrestleManias, the 2 days, it needs star power. We
Yeah,
know the ticket sales are not great. They gave you 25% off. Now they're giving you the first night free on ESPN
crazy.
because they want more viewers, more than ever before. But boy, this one came from left field. And it looks like there's a big possibility that Seth freaking Rollins could be turning babyface after tonight. And the fans love him, whether he's a heel or a babyface. I thought they could be leaning towards Logan against
Mhm.
Seth. That's another great match.
Yeah.
But you coming out with that with Brock, and you're absolutely right. Heyman is his boy. That would be incredible. That would make people want to say, "Hey, man, I want to go see this event," because they need all the help and
Yep.
star power they can get for WrestleMania.
I mean, for sure, that's the point we're at. And I do think plans change when injuries happen. I don't think they expected Braun to be out. I don't think they expected Bronson to be out. I'm sure it changed some of the ways that they were going to go about this angle and what was going to happen. Do I think Logan can carry it? 1,000%, because honestly, he's so hated. And the way he was the MVP in the Elimination Chamber. No matter what he did, he cheated and he was dirty or whatever, but he eliminated 3 guys. So
Mhm.
you can't tell me he's not a workhorse. You can't tell me he's not one. People were so mad. I was reading stuff on social media about I don't really care that he's this guy and he has all these followers because he shouldn't be in that ring. And I'm like, you saying that is why he is such a good heel. So if he is the heel, 1,000% Rollins is going to be that uber babyface that everyone's going to be pulling for. I just think that's too simple. But would it be a great match? 100%, it would be an awesome match. So we just got to see how they go about it with the storylines now.
Yeah, if Seth is 100% with his shoulder and everything, that'll be a hell of a match because both guys can work in
Yeah.
the ring. So speaking of WrestleMania, we saw on social media a little bit of heat between Jade and Rhea. What are your thoughts on that?
Listen, it's interesting because this is giving me shades of Charlotte and Tiffany from last year as well, right? We saw the promos, they go in the ring and one went a little bit too far. And we were like, oh, what happened? And every time this happens, I feel like as a woman in pro wrestling, you almost take a step backwards just because it's everybody makes it like we're catty and we don't like each other, or that's always the storyline. And I hope that it's just a work to build the heat between them because it worked in 24 hours. It's already, people are talking about it and people are hating on it. Do I think there's some realness to it? I think there's a little bit of realness to everything when it comes to this kind of stuff, especially because other women in the locker room have kind of hopped in on it. They have some Nia Jax and Chelsea Green and all this kind of stuff. To me, it's rumors. It is what it is. Whatever happens backstage, unless it's a match involving those people, then I don't want to see it. And I don't really want to know about it because unless it's for the storyline, I don't really care because drama and the BS, I don't really care about. But when it comes to the storyline, it's going to make you more invested in Jade and Rhea. I'm all for it because we're already talking about it way more than we were 2 days ago. So why the hell not? I'm sure there's a little realness to it, but we're going
Yep,
to have to see how it
that's
plays
how you
out.
generate, right? This is how you generate a storyline, folks. Besides being in the ring and being on the programming every week, you go to social media, and we know how big social media is. That's how you create
Yeah.
heat. That's how you create interest in it. And for you guys in the chat area, you have any comments about that or anything about tonight's
Yeah.
show or pro wrestling? Throw them in there. What I'm seeing is everybody's happy to see us back. And I don't think anybody mentioned our friend, the coach.
Who's that?
So,
Oh,
we got
he's probably
Abas
somewhere
here.
talking about himself, Tommy. You know what I mean?
What's he say here? It's awful. It's awesome
To
to
have
have the show back. and says,
Please
"Please
never
never
go
go
away.
away. We're never going away. We're here. Me and Gabby are here." We might not even let coach in anymore. But speaking of the road to WrestleMania, again, elevate, elevate, elevate. And that's what Liv Morgan did tonight. That little vignette you saw
Yeah,
wherever they shot it, everything she said was spot on. And this is the difference between her and Steph. Do you see how she can elevate something and make you interested in it? And Steph, and it's a language barrier thing
yeah,
at best. She's hard to understand. Charisma that Liv has, the way she puts over stuff, the way she comes at you. She has now put interest in that Liv Steph with, a couple of weeks ago, Steph coming out and really going below the belt about Liv's past and stuff like that. But Liv just elevated a little more. And I expect that to happen in the next couple of weeks. This is why I love Liv Morgan. They need her to be the champ. And hopefully, after WrestleMania, she will be champ again. Imagine that, her being champ and Rhea being champ. And
right.
boy, maybe seeing those two collide at SummerSlam, that would be something else. Incredible. What did you think of her vignette?
Listen, I absolutely loved it. I love Liv. She's a Jersey girl. Like I say this every time, so I am loyal to my Jersey girls all the time. And I think what she said was perfect to the point, and the way she carries herself, the way she talks about like you keep bringing up the past, but I live for the future. Like let's look towards it because it's completely true. And I don't really think you can even put them in the same stratosphere in the sense of Liv, like she said in her vignette, joined the WWE at 20 years old. So it's very hard to hate her at this point because she's done and journeyed the way through the company that we're watching as the WWE universe. So it's hard to not love her because of everything she's accomplished, and people see themselves in her and her hardships and all these kinds of things, which unfortunately I don't think that emotional investment is there yet with Stephanie. And that's where it's hard for me to root for her because it's nothing against her. I think she has a great look. I think she's awesome in the ring and I do like her a lot. But you can't even, I mean, this is Liv Morgan. And what I love about Liv as well is like, as much as she's done, I feel like she can always do more. I don't feel like there's a ceiling when it comes to her. I feel like there's more opponents I want to see her against. I feel like there's more she can like accomplish as the person that she is now because I wasn't even sold on her probably a year ago. So I think she only improves and gets better every single time I see her, which makes me want her to keep winning. And I hope she comes out of Mania as champion because I just think there's more matches and opportunities of things to happen because I want her and Raquel to have that storyline down the line and build because I think it could be something really, really big and emotional for her to sink her claws into.
That would be a perfect one, her and Raquel. Let's face it, this is how good Liv is. You actually felt sorry for her after that vignette when
Right.
Steph jumped in her face. She had a little baby face in her. And then now coming out as the heel, ripping on Steph and just elevating that match. So she can be either a baby face
Right.
or a heel,
Right.
and you would still love her. That's when you know you have it. You have the charisma. She can work in the ring, and she can elevate any storyline that you have whatsoever. That's why I think at Mania she will get the title. Nothing to get Steph. It's a really tough language barrier with her, but man, she's a great worker in the ring. She looks great. I like her gimmick with the horns and everything like that.
Yeah.
But she just needs to get better on the mic, and that will come along as you go along in this business.
Yeah.
And it, it was a really solid start to the show tonight. I was really happy about it. What were your thoughts on a little bit of Rusev and that small guy there? Who was his name again? Oba somebody.
The little guy, the little one
Little
that
guy. Yeah.
came out sprawling. No, I mean, listen, I say this: big meaty men just tossing it up is one of my favorite things to watch in the entire world. And now we got a stacked lineup of these big dudes. So like, I'm always take my money and I'm sitting front row watching it. And by the way, Oba's little walkout, his entrance, like the arms and stuff, it gets me going. Like it's one of my favorite things to watch, and I'm hoping there's a spot for him at WrestleMania because I want that arena to erupt with the arms and the crowd. Him when his music hits and him walking down for whoever he's beating the shit out of because he's going to beat the shit out of anybody because he is massive and like I absolutely love it. I want to see more of him and I can't wait for Royce Keys to come out, another big guy who we're going to hopefully see some things from. But, I hope they get into, especially when it comes to the Rumble. I know they just had Royce Keys on the podcast with Stephanie McMahon and all these things. Like, I like seeing the backgrounds of these guys, but for some reason with Oba, I kind of like the mystery because he's very he doesn't have to talk a lot to get his he is just look at me and be scared of me and I'm gonna come out and kick your ass. And I kind of like that about him. There's a little era of mystery, if that makes sense. And I feel like we should keep it that way. I don't want to see him talking about life on podcasts. I really don't. Because I'm like, I want to just know that you're a monster and that's it. But that's just me.
Yeah. His entrance is awesome. I love the accent that he has. And man, I forgot all about Royce Keys. Man, imagine him and Royce Keys going at it. And also, I know Olmis is like in AAA. How about Olmis and Oba, the Battle of the Giants at WrestleMania?
I was sold on Oba and Brock after seeing the Rumble, if they're going to build to that, because they have that little tussle in the Rumble and then flipped over and all this kind of stuff. So that's a big man match where talk about setting up young blood to be a star. You know what I mean? There's not really another big guy like Brock Lesnar to put a showing on for an Oba. But I mean, we don't know what Brock's doing at Mania yet. There's so many opportunities and possibilities for who we're going to see him with, because we know he's going to be there. He's in the commercial. He's going to be there some way. So whether it be Seth, whether it be Oba, I don't really care. I'm more curious for that because I want to know where that story's going.
Yeah, I like to see where that goes. One other thing, and I'm just going to slide away and get into, is the Drew McIntyre incident after Elimination Chamber was over, where all this said, "Hey, man, now you're going to have a championship match with Cody." And I know you like the idea of Cody and Randy going at it. I like the idea too, but it just seems like, my own opinion, and me and Coach talked about this in the past, that Drew just keeps getting shit on. And I hate to say it like that, but he's not going to be, he's going to lose on Friday. There is no way Drew's going to go over. And my thought process is that Jacob Fatu is going to screw Drew, and then we're going to see Jacob and Drew at WrestleMania. But again, Gabby, as you know, the main event at WrestleMania is the main event. And Drew's been fighting that for how many years now? He gets the title, and now they're probably going to give it away not give it away. He's probably going to win the match. And Cody and Randy, not that doesn't have juice. It probably has more juice than we have Drew and Cody. But it's just Drew once again, is not at the top wrestling, whether he loses to Cody or not. I just want to see that. And now we're probably not going to see that. What do you think of that?
I do think there is some realm of possibility where we see it a four-way and we see Drew, Cody, Randy, Jacob, because say Jacob jumps in and causes a distraction or something. I don't know. I think there is some way that we see that on WrestleMania as opposed to two separate matches, a four-way between the guys. So at least they're all in the main event of WrestleMania. And, I think that could be a good showing for Drew as well. But it's weird with Drew. I'm such a big fan of him. But it's hard because he hasn't found that, it hasn't been that time for Drew, for me at least, where I'm like, he's the guy. Right now, he is the guy. If you're going to put him against Randy, if you're going to put him against Cody, he's the guy carrying it. And maybe it was in COVID times, and that's why it was like an unfair thing because it wasn't in front of the crowd, and that was probably the time for him. But I'm kind of waiting for it to be that time for him again, and it's nothing against him. I think his look is great. He's awesome. He makes me pop when he's on the mic. His social media game's strong. In the ring, he's a beast. But it's just, I think timing is everything when it comes to being that guy, and it's just not right now. It doesn't mean it won't be. He might not be headlining WrestleMania next year if the story is right, if the person across from him is not the right person, but it's just not right now, unfortunately. And listen, I hope we see a four-way. I think it could be interesting, but it's just not the time.
See, four ways for me those are made for, and this is just my own opinion at all.
Yeah.
Four ways for me are for Saturday night's main event or some ancillary PLE. When I see WrestleMania as your biggest show of the year, I don't want the main event to be a four-way. I want it to be one-on-one, whether it's Cody, Drew, or Cody, Randy, or whatever the situation may be. I like one-on-ones. That makes people more interested, and it helps you build the storyline better because now it's this person against that person. Oh, now we have this guy, and then we have this guy. I don't like that.
I get it.
Hopefully, that won't happen at all. But if Jacob ends up screwing Drew, it'll be Jacob and Drew. And by the way, you're setting up the pretty good card here at WrestleMania, and Lord knows they need it, man. 25% down on tickets
Yeah.
and discount, and I don't think tickets are selling at all. And then they come out with the giving you the first hour on Saturday and the first hour on Sunday free. When have you ever heard
That's great.
WrestleMania and free in the same sentence? I haven't. You think it's desperate from TKO to do this to try to build up their ESPN subscription?
I mean, I don't know if desperate's the right word. I would love to be like, yeah, they're just giving back to the fans for being so loyal. I would love to say that, but I think they. First of all, I was the angriest person that we're back in Vegas again because I was looking forward to it being in New Orleans. I think the aura of WrestleMania is that it's in a new place every single year. I think that's one of the best parts about it. I think that was the fact because they made so much money in Vegas last year that they're doing it again, and then they're not like the rumor of them not playing it at bars, but like, so you want people to buy tickets, but you're not bringing the ticket prices down and the tickets are out of control. I'm just like, what, like, how much is too much? How much can you take? And like, it is a business. I get it. But maybe because I'm an emotional investment person, I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Like, I'm loyal and I'm a fan, like, help me out. So I think it was almost like they need to do this because I don't think they're like, I think some people really are going to be like, I'm not watching this year because I think that's bullshit. And I think they have to bring people back to the side to be like on their side about it. So I think it's a smart move on their point of what they have to do, but it is wild because it is WrestleMania. It shouldn't be that this hard.
Yeah, and they're very calculated. Like tonight, I
Yeah.
saw Dom's shirt and had dude wipes. So now they're becoming like NASCAR, where there's all these sponsors, and they're
Yeah.
selling that shirt, and it said dude wipes right underneath it. I'm
Yeah.
like,
I also didn't know half the people they showed in the audience. I was like, cool. I don't know who any of these people are. I know they explain it,
yeah,
but it doesn't mean I know. Like, I'm not hyped to see it. Where's Macaulay Culkin? That was when I was like, damn, there's Macaulay Culkin. Like, amazing. But the people there were not Macaulay Culkin that I was looking at. Like, I
yeah.
get it. It's Netflix. You got to show the people, but
They showed the University of Indiana's lineman who
yeah.
was in the NFL Combine this past week, like Tyrone. So I didn't know who the hell it was. I'm like, are
Yeah.
you kidding me? Why are
And
we
like,
even
of course, they're
shooting this?
excited to be there. I'm just like, okay, I don't understand that part of it. But it's a business, and that's where I just, as a fan, I'm like, it's a business. What am I going to do? I got to take a step back. Like, I'll order some Wingstop, do whatever, you know what I mean. Let them sway me some way or not because I'm reading it. And guess what? Now I want wings because you're showing me 15 times in the middle of the ring. Of course, I want Wingstop now. It's not stupid.
So here's my next question to you, Gabby.
Yeah,
AJ's porn wasn't her promo wasn't great, and now they have a number one contenders match.
yeah,
And did you see who's in the number one contenders match? You saw them all?
yeah.
Who's
Go
missing?
Becky. I know.
Can you tell me how could she not be in there?
So I think it's because of the social media stuff, and this is what I was telling you. Like, she's suing Adam Pearce, and she's talking to legalities about this. And she said, "I'm not coming to Raw." If you say you're not coming to Raw because you want something to happen, like, I think it makes sense that she wasn't in the match because Adam Pearce saying like, "No, we're not suing," and okay, cool. Like, Becky, like, we've had enough of your BS, but you could keep trying to sue us. Why would they put her in a match if she's suing in what she's saying?
Yeah.
So it makes sense. It's actually a little breath of fresh air for me because I'm excited to see kind of the time for somebody else to be against AJ. I'm sure she'll come in and ruin it at some point. Could you imagine? And this is what I'm thinking because I'm evil, and this is how I think. Bailey wins, and it's supposed to be Bailey AJ at WrestleMania, and last minute Becky does something, and so that it's Becky and AJ at WrestleMania and not Bailey. And the second year in a row, she edges Bailey out of WrestleMania.
I think it would be great because I'm not a Bailey fan.
I know you don't like Bailey, but I'm saying I
No,
love
I know.
Bailey. I just think
Yeah,
like that was the whole storyline last year is that she jumped
yeah.
in the tag match and Bailey got taken out. For months that was talked about, right? Imagine it happens again. This time, obviously, it would be a little bit funnier, but like, could you just imagine if like another year, and now it just becomes a thing, like Becky just takes out Bayley every year for WrestleMania, and Becky shows up and takes the opportunity away from Bayley. Talk about like heat, you know? I don't know. It could be interesting if they went that way with it, but maybe that's just my mind and
How
how I
about this
think.
backstage vignette with her and Lyra? "Oh, you need to go." Like, what about another competitor say, "Oh, you need to go for that match,"
Yeah,
not, "Oh, no, you're coming together with me." And
right.
what if in the end, Lyra screws Bayley? Now that
Listen, it would be a nice character development for Lyra a little bit, but I don't want to see Lyra and AJ at WrestleMania.
no.
Bailey's the bigger name. Raquel would be interesting because I would love to see Raquel and Liv square off afterwards. Because AJ's the name in this, so it's not like you got to throw a veteran in there because it's AJ Lee. She gets the pops everywhere she goes. That's why she addressed the crowd because she knows they're going to love her, which they do. So I think it could be interesting, and I'm actually excited to see which way they go with it because I think it will be pretty indicative of the storyline following.
Yeah. So speaking of big things, we
Yeah.
already know that,
Damn, Tommy.
on speak you got me there.
Only been my God, it's not even 11 o'clock.
Well, we know the main event, and we're assuming this, the main event for night 2 is gonna be CM Punk and
Oh,
Roman Reigns, and now it's starting to get because these guys, know each other for years, and that's what I said to Coach. Where are we getting a storyline from here? How am
right.
I gonna be interested enough to see this match? Because look, I think everybody in their right mind, I think there's no way CM Punk is beating Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. But now it's getting a little dirty. They ended the show tonight, and
Yep.
it got a little ugly with CM Punk. Now remember who the baby face is here.
Right.
It's CM Punk. It's not Roman Reigns. And I'll let you lead into that about how you feel about Punk and what he said at the end there.
Listen, my immediate reaction after he made the comment about burying him next to his father was that was a heel line from a babyface. And it literally threw me a little bit because all automatically, even tonight, walking into the ring, Roman was getting a great response. They acknowledged him. And then obviously the crowd pops huge for CM Punk, but they're both pretty beloved right now and very much liked. Punk being the massive babyface that he is. But that was a dirty heel line to throw at the end. And that was my exact reaction to it. And it jolted me a little bit because I was like, ooh, are we about to see like Punk turn into that arrogant little bit like can't handle like because I don't think what Roman said was that bad. You know, Roman's just poking at the fact that Punk's an older guy and
Yeah.
you're gonna go to NXT and you're gonna be done soon anyway, and you're not relevant. I mean, his tweet about him looking gassed or whatever it was, 3.3 million views or some shit because he's Roman Reigns. Like, if you're really gonna be that mad about him calling you old, how funny would it be when you beat him and you're older than he is? It should be embarrassing for him because he's younger than you and you're this old man, right?
Yeah.
So his line was the gut punch about his father. Like that is you can't come back when you make a line like that. And that was heelish from Punk. And
Yeah.
I think it's interesting going into Mania because Roman's not getting booed right now. So it's a weird line to be playing.
You know what? You're absolutely right because it automatically turns Punk into the heel, and everybody's gonna feel sorry for Roman. Look, Roman don't need this. We know he has the star power. You know he's been, excuse me, on top for years. When you put out a tweet and we haven't heard from Roman in weeks, and
Right.
it hit 3.3 million views, that's a star, guys. But when you're like Punk and you can't have nothing else to say and you go with the low blow, I'm gonna bury you right next to your father, that instantly turns me. I know he's in Chi-Town, he's here and he's there and he gets the home crowd there. He's in Indianapolis tonight. People still love him. But when you say a line like that and you bring dent into it it's about your father that just hits different for me. And
Yeah.
that's desperate for me on how to elevate a storyline to get people more interested. Look, you should be interested anyway because it's Punk and Roman Reigns, two of the top guys who've been in the business over 10 years and they've been on top for over 10 years. It just hits low, and I don't think it did Punk any service at all in him building up this match. It was just a cheap shot, maybe to try to create something with Roman, like catch him off guard with this. But Roman's so good in the ring, he knows how to make a mic drop. and he did that, and it just doesn't make Punk look good in the light of saying stuff like that. There's no upside to it at all. You know what I mean?
Right. It's in such a shade. If Roman was as hated as he once was and getting booed, I wouldn't be as concerned as I was, because there's no clear healed babyface to me with this match, because when they hit that other promo, when took us to promo school in the last one, everybody was like, "Oh my god, they're both incredible! Like, they're both getting responses. They're both going to be getting cheered." So you got to play it a little bit differently, I think, unless you're just trying to get that shock value, which you did. Now, if next week, Roman comes out and talks shit about Larry, I'm going to be like, all right, I take everything back, because there's no slander on dogs where I'm from. You know what I mean? We're not talking death, but we'll have to see how they carry this on, because I'll take them just being in the ring shooting promos at each other every single week until Mania, because they're that good and it's so entertaining. But I almost kind of want it to chill for a little bit until they just want to beat the shit out of each other, because it's going to be massive.
You know, the smart thing WWE did, they put out the schedule of Roman Reigns where he's appearing. He's going to be on Raw every week. That's to sell tickets, and they did the same exact thing for Brock Lesnar. That's just to sell tickets there, to get people there for Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, and it was a smart move by them. One last thing before we go away. Tell me your thoughts at Elimination Chamber in the box, and Danhausen.
Listen, I know you loved it, Tommy. Right when it came out, I said, Tommy is going to love this. There's nothing Tommy loves more than something like that. So I knew he was hyped. I was going to text you and be like, Tommy, are you dancing? Are you jumping up? Listen, I know who Danhausen is, obviously, because of AEW, and I followed him, and I think he's super entertaining. I love his shtick because it's very different than anything else happening. I was shocked he got booed the way he got booed, because what my expectation was of someone coming out of the box was, I thought it was going to be a Hall of Fame inductee, something like cool like that, like maybe something massive. But I just think it was almost like wrong place, wrong time to do it. Like, if they would have done that on Raw tonight, I think the reaction would have been a lot different. Like, if it was a Raw and not like a Chamber, because it made everybody think it was going to be a Jericho or something insane. And that's not WWE's fault that people took the ball and ran with it. I'm not blaming WWE, because they didn't say one thing about it being one of those people. They didn't really give a hint. So it was more like the internet going off and people just thinking they knew what they knew. But I feel bad he got booed, because he is entertaining and I think his shtick is great. I think what he did tonight was perfect. Throw him in with the Judgment Day, another kind of, like, they can have some fun with it. And listen, his curse is why Dom lost. So now, is there going to be some heat on Danhausen and Dominic Mysterio? Because, like, we're not seeing anything like this. You know what I mean? We don't get R-Truth every Monday on Raw. So I don't think Danhausen calls in some shit. I don't mind it.
Yeah. I was wondering how they were going to bring him on Raw tonight. It was perfect the way they did it. He's actually pretty entertaining and funny. He reminds me a lot of R-Truth. Can you imagine a backstage promo with him and R-Truth, man? If it's written right, it could be. But I think he's very entertaining. I don't know what his work and his ring looks like. I think he's more of a C-level talent. That's why him coming, excuse me, out in the box and making it like Jericho-like, which he's nowhere near Jericho at all, as you know. But I think he could be pretty entertaining. See how far they push him. I hear his merchandise went off the wall at AEW. Like, they sold a lot of his merchandise. So we'll see what happens to him. And you're right. Could there be a lead to saying you're cursed and Dominic all of a sudden losing to Penta?
Right.
I don't want to see Dominic and Danhausen at WrestleMania. I'd rather see, Dom doesn't have the strap anymore. Him with it, I'd rather see him. My thought was him and Carmelo Hayes put title for title.
Yeah.
It put both young guys over. And that's when that happens in this company. And I know the reason why you have to sell tickets, but you can't make stars without building them up and getting to the point where they need to be.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Listen, I think Dominic is a star. I think the reaction he gets is pretty massive in what's happening. So for him to have a match at WrestleMania, I don't think is out of the realm. But where I think they planted a little seed was him saying, "Get the hammer." Finn stopped it, and then he lost. So what if, the turnaround next week is, Finn, you're the reason I lost, and like now spark that heat between the two of them, go into Mania with Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio, if we build that correctly, because that's a story in and of itself. That's a match I would love to see. And I mean, we just saw Finn Balor at Elimination Chamber, and he still got it. Listen, he is. Sometimes I forget about Finn Balor, and then he takes his shirt off, and I'm like, why do I ever forget about Finn Balor?
Yeah.
Because he is ridiculous. He's so damn good still, and he puts on grade A matches. So would I like to see Dom and Finn Balor have a match at WrestleMania? 1,000%. And I think people would love to see it, and it would get a great reaction from the crowd. Because Dom's hated, but he's hated in a lovable way. So people love to see him. He's Dirty Dom, and he can wear the dude wipes shirt at Mania. It works for everybody.
They're probably leaning towards that, and I think Finn's going to turn more babyface as the weeks go. I mean, we got 7 weeks until WrestleMania, so they have a lot of time to play with that. I like Dom, whether he's a heel or a babyface, but he's good at either one. The way he does it, and he's very entertaining, and we need that in this business. One last thing, Gabby, I got for you. Have you happened to see the new merchandise catalog?
Have I seen it?
Yeah.
I think I've caught a glimpse of it. It looks pretty good. I might have got some stuff.
And Double D, could you able to put the new merchandise catalog? There it is. Look who's behind me, Gabby.
Oh my God!
Did you ever think a day you'd see that?
I mean, I knew I would see it one day. I don't think he believed it because he's making that face that he always makes.
There's my shirt. It's What a Fugazi. There's a hoodie, t-shirt. And if you guys check out the catalog and you put it in Chamber, you get free shipping. We got a whole bunch of t-shirts in there, even some for Coach. We got Coach and Bro merchandise. We got Mikey P merchandise. We
don't have merch from, right, yet? Just
got to have. Yeah, we got to get you on there. I mean, come on.
What the heck are we talking about, man?
Then it would be off the charts. It'd be just put me and you up there and forget about it, and it's a done deal. But folks, new merchandise catalog and free shipping when you type in Chamber there. So, what did you think of our first show so far, there, Gabby?
Listen, I love talking to you, Tommy. It flies by. I feel like I'm just talking to one of my friends, and we're just talking about the matches and some shows, and that's exactly how it should feel when you actually enjoy each other's company. It wasn't always that way, but we got rid of the, the dead. What is it? The loose ends, the dead, whatever it's called. We shed the skin as we had to do, and now we're rocking and rolling. I think everybody else agrees. What do you think?
I remember when I was on the road and I went to Kuwait and I wrestled Cena and I did this and I bumped my head and
when I was a heel, he couldn't even lace my boots. I was the best heel in the entire world, Tommy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
No, Coach.
So we're not gonna go to a one shot. We're gonna stay on me and Miss Gabby. I don't need to be the one shot to end the show. They'd rather look at her than look at me. I like the hat Rangers, but too bad they're just a really bad hockey team right now. And well, that's for another day.
What about the U.S. hockey teams? Let's go! Gold for both, man.
That was great. And
incredible.
The whining Canadians. Oh my God, give me a break. We beat you, and it's just such a great thing. So this is our first show, folks. We enjoyed it. Gabby, did you enjoy it? I think we're going to be good moving forward. What are your thoughts there?
One of many, Tommy. So many to come. It's the best time to do it. We're so close to WrestleMania, which means each week's going to get more exciting. Until then, right off the heels of the Elimination Chamber. And we'll be here every Monday night, and you got to join us because we're only going to get better.
Yeah, it was like fine wine. We get better. And hit your notifications there so you know when the last word is coming on with Big Tommy C and Gabby. I hope everybody had a good time watching us tonight. We will see you next Monday for the last word. Miss Gabby, I'll give you the last word.
You give me the last word. Well, of course, I'm pushing for everybody else for the last word because, Tommy, we have to promote that Coach and Bro will be live tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, producer man, great. And I'm still putting other people over because that's how good I am at this job, Tommy. Okay. So you're welcome, Coach. But anyway, if you don't want to do that, you can rewatch this, replay of us talking on YouTube, whatever you guys want. We love you so much. I had the best time, Tommy, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see you again next week.
All right. She's my secret weapon, folks. Nobody else has her, but Big Tommy C in the last word. We will see you next Monday on the last word. Have a great night. Have a great week, everybody. So long.